Hi friends.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem.
Okay, hi friends. So today we will basically learn smart metering, and this topic sounds new to me. I hope this is a new concept for most of the participants here in this session. So Prateek will present this topic today. He has around 4.5 years of experience in this industry, and currently he is working with Fluent Grid, right, Prateek?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pratik, today we will not waste more time on introduction because it's
Yes.
already 3:10, and
Okay.
I would like to request all to participate yourself in this session today and to make it more interactive. And yes, please keep yourself on mute when you are not saying anything, as there might be some background noises or disturbances, as there are so many people. Okay. And Pratik, over to you now. I will give you the access within few seconds, and you just need to click on the share screen before presentation. Okay.
Okay.
So it's over to you, Pratik.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, hello everyone.
Hi.
So, now we'll just start the session on the many of domain the Samir was telling about the smart metering domain. It's a new thing what he was mentioning. So, I will try to make it a familiar one to you after this session so that you will feel familiar and to understand like what is this smart meters all about, the basic concepts to my level. So starting with this, the agenda here is the first is the introduction part about the domain, then the evolution, then the smart meter, the overview about it, and the key components that are AMI and AMR for this smart metering domain, and taking about the brief about the smart grid, and the last comes the our aspects wherein the business analyst significance in the smart metering domain. So the first thing here is the in introduction we'll just see about the what is smart meters all about. So basically it's an electrical meter that will be placed in the end users location. Here end users means might be residential, commercial, industrial, whatever. So end users means who are using this the meters at the various locations for two-way communication between the utilities and the consumers. Consumers and the end users means the same here. You may be looking about this diagram in the right part, right? Is it visible to everybody?
Yeah, it's visible, Pratik.
Yeah. So here in this, it's like we as we going on to the smart meters are coming. It's been around more than 4 or 5 years or even more than that, like the industries are coming up with a more of smart meters concept everywhere, and the smart meters is all about the technological advancement in the end users power consumption monitoring from the remote places without or minimal physical intervention to manual meter collections. So here what we actually are facing here is smart meters means it is a two-way communication between the consumers and the meters. So here in the second point what I mean to say is there is a less or negligible amount of physical intervention. So these days you might be aware at your residence also, like people do come at your location, get the meter readings and then get the data and then share to the utilities and then bill will be entered. So all these things happening till today. Many places still are not using smart metering, but going forward, people will be used this because of many physical factors that I'll be covering the later aspects. So here, look, taking you through the diagram here. The first comes the utility company, where they actually get all the store where they will they will be actually transmitting the power to various residents. So from there, the digital meters, smart meters, they will actually receive the consumption power for the consumption of the households, the residents, or industrial purpose. And then the data is been read by the meter, and that will be directly sent to the back to the application or through utility. So this is where the cycle is all about, to make the consumer less time consuming in these areas. So moving on to the next slide. Just one sec. So the purpose of this the smart meter is to have an effective and efficient utilization of electricity. So means to say here, like, people actually are like having those problems and not have electricity not coming to their extent, and they are not happy with the utilization of electricity. Somewhat they will be using less electricity, they will be charged more. So those things will be like they are facing the problems in nowadays. So to come across all these things, so there we have the main purpose of smart meter is to have the effective and efficient utilization of electricity, and to help Indian utilities address the revenue challenge. So as I've told in the first point, like, unusual distribution of your electricity to the residents and unusual utilization and distribution. So mean to say there will be some gap in the amount of electricity transmitted through the power lines to the residents, and unusual building, and then conflict, and those things were happening plenty of times in earlier days when smart meter were not into existence. But now, as and when smart meter concept has arrived, so that is where we actually have reduced these kinds of the misconceptions or discrepancies happening between the utilities and the end consumers. So the almost one more thing is to eradicate the power theft from various end users. So mean to say, like, whenever we actually have any functions or any of the organizations or any events, we tend to actually stop the meter reading, so that consumption will be going on, but the meter won't be reading the actual consumption. So these things were happening on and on everywhere, and people were utilizing to the negative effect of electricity, and it was leading to any other misconception. So to stop that, the smart meter concept is been brought everywhere and been implemented in the worldwide as of now. So the next topic is, in this only, the conventional meter to smart meter. So here conventional meter means the old age meters what we are using at our residence. So meter is a normal meter wherein people actually come to the residence place, note down the readings, go back, and then and then actually get the meter billing, and then send a meter bill to the resident. So this all where the lengthy process going on with the conventional meters. So conventional meter is like, these are usual meters showing the units of power consumption, that's it. No communication, nothing like smart meters.
Prateek,
And yeah.
Prateek, sorry to interrupt. I have a doubt actually. Uh,
Hmm.
what exactly is this a smart meter? Is it any kind of device? If it's a device, then whether it will be placed in my house, or it will be placed in some centralized location.
Yeah, see, like this smart meter is like just coming to the next point. So after this slide, so the smart meter is like electronic device actually. So
See
that
device.
device will be placed at, yeah, electrical device.
Okay.
So like it will be like a electric meter only, but it will be more advanced technology will be there in that meter.
No, I got that. But where it
Yeah.
will be placed? Whether it will be placed in some centralized location, or it will be placed in my house, or what
See,
exactly?
both are see, both are possible here. See, what
Okay.
happens is centralized location in the sense if you like want to say like you have around 3 to 5 residents, and you want to say like no, all of the meters we can I can have a common common meter. So it is also possible, but usually it is not preferred nowadays. But each residence will have one electrical meter to their attached to their residence location. So this is what it is all about. So coming this one, the conventional meter is like it was a usual meter reading showing the units of power consumption, but not like the regular. It was the most ancient way of practice in the utilities and the current power generation, all those things.
Okay.
Yes, Kiran, it will. Yeah, this yes, Kiran. I've got your message, and I'll just covering this aspect in the coming slides. So next is the demerits of the utility and the consumer perspective for these conventional meters. So what could be the demerits is like the main thing is meter theft, unusual usage of the electricity and extra load to transformers and all, and that is the utility perspective loss, and the more physical intervention to capture reading, again utility perspective and government perspective to actually send people to note the individual residents, might be 200 500,000 residents, and individual going individually to there, and amount of time consumption, everything was very huge. So that was the one thing, that was the major demerit of conventional meters, the previous ones. And next is time consumption during physical bill payment. So once a bill is received by the residents, they actually used to go to the meter like the any HDFC any utility source, and then for the bill payment, and then make the bills. So this is what is all about, that the conventional meters, the disadvantages. So next we'll go to the smart meters. So I guess everybody is clear with this conventional meters, right? Any clarifications in this?
No, Pratik, please go ahead.
Yeah. So next, coming to the smart meters. So smart meters are the advanced meter reading from remote location. So I mean to say like the meters are being placed in a different city, and they are being monitored from different city. That is what the software and the applications come into picture. And the smart meters have an advantage of two-way communication technology. Two-way in the sense the capturing, or in that is the input of electricity from the utility, and output of the meter reading and the consumption readings and everything back to the utility from a particular meter. It is the two-way communication is happening in this way. So the merits of from utility and consumer perspective here is it's zero meter theft. There is no theft. People will actually be monitored through application about when the theft happens, because the meter starts reading. So they will get to know like why meter is stopped reading. So they will have an assumption like for this minute, for this many minutes, if it is stopped reading, then there is definitely a zero, means to say it is a meter theft happening from that consumer's location. So negligible physical intervention to capture reading. So here people doesn't have to go to the resident's location and like note down the meter readings and then pass it on to the utility to actually for billing purpose. It is nowhere here in the smart metering concept. It is actually everything is software based and it is application based, wherein you will from the remote location you can actually monitor and capture all the meter readings from the application based from different cities or remote location. And next is the one more disadvantage advantage is application based bill payment. So in this thing, even like we have even we all know about the online bill payments and all about things here. So it's the same thing for this smart metering also. And the last one is I'm covering the basic, the important ones. So last thing is accuracy, both from the utility perspective and the consumer perspective. So from utility perspective means the like one station wherein the electricity will be sent to different transformers and then to the meters. That is the utility. And consumer is always like when the amount of power he used to input from utility, the output used to be the equivalent bill for that power being inputted. So have you guys care about the utility, about the work concept here? Hello?
Prateek, can you please come again?
Yeah, here the utility and consumer perspective, the merits are there. So are you guys care about what is utilities all about?
Pradeep, I'm clear about it. Yeah, I'm clear
Okay.
about it. If anyone else having doubt, they can ask.
Okay, no problem. So meanwhile, here there's a diagram to show you what the smart meter system really works. So we'll just take from the residential industrial consumer. We just assume like the residents have been placed with that smart metering, the smart meter, and then the communication or interface happens between the smart meters and the central server, the utilities, and so some gateways for communication gateways will be there, wherein the means of communication we mean to say like PLC, GPRS, GPS communications will be there. And afterwards, next is the communication interface protocol, the flow of the information of consumption, input output of the power readings from various sources, and then it will go to database, and from database it will be showcased in the application, and based on that the billing will be done. So might be through application billing or the it depends upon those utilities. Like if someone is nearer, then they can go application billing or physical billing. But physical billing is not preferred here because most of the times people go with application billing, so it's been comfortable as of the current generation. Moving on to next slide, the evolution about on the smart metering. So how did we arrive at this stage? Like where were we previously? When was this metering concept came into picture? So all is the evolution about the smart meters. So from 1995 to 2008, we had only the concept of metering, handled meter, pass by meter, and automated meter reading. So metering in the sense the meters being placed at the consumer's place. Handled meeting means like metering, like people used to go there, collect and have the meter billing, and can come back to the place and then have the billing for that and pass it on to the resident for you mean to say like for billing purpose, and an automated meter reading wherein there were there was some device in the meter called they were used to rotate and show the total amount of meter reading. So that is all was about till 2008. So from 2009 till 2012 was the remote AMR and AMI. So this, just keep in mind about AMR and AMI. This I'm actually covering in the coming slides. So talking through the AMR, AMR is all about the automated meter reading, and it is the subset of AMI. So AMI is the automated meter infrastructure. So infrastructure, within that comes the automated meter reading. So as we're telling about this smart metering thing, so it was remote reading as well. So that is all about the AMR, and AMI is the superset of AMR. And from 2013 to 2019, where a few applications called MDM and CIS come into picture. The one I was telling you about, the consumer place meter billing and everything, because applications will be given to the, like the end users, residents, or who consumers who wish to consume. So to make them self monitor their own consumption and the billing aspects of their all the consumption of electricity, there was application given to them, like the normal login log of kind of application. So that application we used to call it as CIS. It is Consumer Information System. So the consumers can actually go log into the system and see what actually they have consumed, and what is the input they have received, and what is that output of meters and that have actually communicated back to the utility. So this is all about the evolution about the smart metering from conventional meters to the smart meters. So next is the overview about the smart meters. So these are the electrical measurement devices used by the utilities. Utilities mean to say, you can say it as a substations, wherein you will find big electrical poles within some fences being fenced. So from there, the utilities, the power will be transmitted to different locations of the city. So in a city, probably there will be many substations covering certain colonies or certain acres of the residents. And then initially the use of this technology was applied to commercial and industrial customers due to the need for more sophisticated rates and more granular billing data requirements. So granular billing data is about the minute details of the meter reading consumption were also monitored through the application that help the utility for the less loss of the electricity that has been transferred to the residents. So the use of electronic meters, that is the smart meters, came into service to the largest customers of the utility, and over time gradually expanded to the all customer classes. Previously, these electrical smart meters, they actually be expanded only to the industrial customers, where the consumption of electricity was very huge. But as on the days pass on, so they actually it was widespread across all the kinds of consumers, like commercial, like the residents and institutions, colleges, wherever. So it was all the kinds of customers were using nowadays the smart metering concept, and people are getting used to that. Most of the people doesn't know about it. Only the companies who are actually into this domain, they know about this thing, but most of the people are still unaware about this, so that the awareness is spreading now rapidly from past 3 to 4 years. So taking you to the diagram here at the right, so smart meter device is there. So that actually comes from the network access point and from the power company, that is the utility, and then the CEO power, the desktop, that is CIS, at your location, wherein the meters reading, the monitoring, tracking of own metering by the consumers can be seen by their system, that is CEO power. And then you can actually it is all about, again, the meter reading everything through application will pass on to the smart meters. So this is what about the see what you can save. So mean to say, if you are consuming extra, so you can just monitor your own devices, and you can reduce the consumption of power by self monitoring using the CIS application and the smart meters being placed at your location. So any doubts till now?
No, Prateek, we are fine.
So everything is clear?
Yeah, Prateek.
Yeah, okay. So there are few drivers in the smart metering in India. So mean to say like 24 power supply, mean to say like if you take the metropolitan cities like Mumbai and Bangalore and for many major cities where 24/7 power supply will be there. So these smart meters play a very vital role in these kind of cities. And the transparencies in the sense like from the perspective of utility and the consumers. There is no hide and seek here. So how much amount of meter the smart meter receives the power from the utility, that equivalent amount of billing will be raised, and everything will be monitored through the application by the admin application by the utility and and also through the CIS application in within that has been given to the consumers. So the next factor is the reduce theft, ATC and losses. So ATC and losses is a technical term. So we just have to concentrate on reduce theft losses, wherein people cannot you mislead with the smart meters as they'll be easily caught. So improved customer services. Customers were very much happy to have these meters at their location. So they were delighted to use this. So many government projects also coming now, with the software companies, those related to the smart metering concept. So and then the integration with the renewal part. So here is one more the small thing I just need to take you all through. So integration with the renewable thing is, you can say, so through biogas and through solar thing. So integrating with those with the smart metering and utility is another different concept. So that is called net metering. So we can discuss net metering later in any other session or in any of the group later. But now I don't want to confuse you people with the net metering and the smart metering. So next is the load management. So in load management is all about the same thing about the utility being sending the power to the end users and managing the load. So like what is the amount of the power they actually receiving from the generation areas, and what is the amount of kilowatts or megawatts of the power they're spreading across to the consumers is all about the key drivers of smart meters in India. So these are the main concept wherein this lead to the enhancement of the meters from the conventional meters to the smart meters.
What's AT&C? What's
This
AT&C?
one is a technical. It's a technical term, so I will just tell you later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the key components of these are the AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure, and the AMR, that is the Advanced Metering Reading. So this is all about this would actually give you the better clarity about the AMR in the center. Next is the AMI, and next is the smart grid. We mean to say smart grid is like the sum of all is a superset of AMI and AMR, and AMI is the superset of AMR. So this will actually give you the clear picture about what is AMR and AMI. So in smart grid we have remote detections, central and distributed analysis, and correction and distribution of the grid, optimizes the grid assets, and distribution automation, and the leverage of non-operational data. So these are all the things wherein it is I actually included this into things to let you know like what is this all about and where the BA plays a role basically in these things. So next is the AMI. So in AMI we have the AMR capability, price signal sent to the consumers, new rate design, that is tariff designing, load control, wherein from utility what is the load being sent to the consumers, controlling and monitoring from the remote places, remote metering programming, and the hourly remote meter reads, wherein like people actually get to know what is their reading on hourly basis, so that any communication sent from the meters to the utilities will be monitored from system, and based on that they will get to know what is the hourly consumption of that particular resident. So next is the remote TFTN and the customer outage detection, customer voltage measurement. Voltage measurement is all about the same thing about that what is the amount of the power being inputted and what is the power and the meter reading being sent back to the utility. And AMR is all about the automated meter reading, that is the two-way communication between the utilities and the smart meters. So there are a few jargons in this I've included, like remote TFTN. So they were just a part of the PPT to know about the jargon. So these are actually few technical things are there in this. So I will just clarify it later. So any doubts in this? So you guys clear about this smart grid, AMI and AMR?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, Prateek, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So coming to the AMI, it is advanced metering infrastructure. So this is where the key features of the AMI, the precise consumption information, clear and accurate billing, automatic outage information and faster recovery, and better and faster customer service. So in the diagram, we'll see that the utility systems communicating to two-way communication between the data collection center and the AMI management. And from there will be go to the wide area network, where it will be spread across the consumers. The power will be spread across the consumer meters, and the AMI communication networks, wherein it will be through power lines communication, wherein we'll be having few power lines. You mean to say the electrical lines, through that the power will be like as it is common, everybody knows about it. So based on that, the actually the it will be sent to the consumer meters, wherein the conventional meters are being replaced with the smart meters. So those things will be monitored through the application, and this is all about the two-way communication between all these aspects. Next is the AMR, advanced meter reading. So in this advanced meter reading is all about again the two-way communication from the smart metering and the application of replaced at the consumer level. So remotely reads customer meters and then transfer the data into the billing system. So mean to say the main application that is in admin level, and reduce the need for meter readers to manually gather utility meter readings and each month. So it depends, like even here we have people will be having the prepaid and postpaid, as we are usually know the concepts of the jargons. So prepaid is all, so based on that the billing happens, and the understanding between the utility and the consumers, wherein how and when they actually need to go with the billing concept is a monthly, bi-monthly. It's all about the understanding between those two. So next is the BA significance the in this domain. So coming, this is the last point here. So the requirements gathering, the knowing competitors, because in smart grid and smart metering there are many competitors in this current era. So being in one company should know about their the role and the tariff rates and everything about the competitors, so that he can actually monitor those things and he can make changes as and when required for his particular organizational growth. And application enhancements. So application enhancements in the sense building new features and few like consumer friendly features wherein consumers will be happy to use those. For example, there will be certain features like happy hours and happy days. So like in happy days, what happens is people actually get to know, like in happy days, so there will be certain days wherein the consumer won't be charged anything from utility. So this is one thing. And happy hours is like certain hours in a day. So those are the configurable part from the admin part. So that won't be charged as at those respective hours configured. So next is the new tariff implementations. So in this new tariff implementations, like the self-explanatory, and the gap analysis. Like in gap analysis might be in case of anything, might be in case of the power distribution, the power consumption, the utility monitoring, the monitoring the load, sanction load. So this is all about those gap analysis between the consumer level and utility level and the application level. So next is the tender analysis, wherever a new tender comes to the company or they are aware about it and they want to get new projects. So they're applying for that and getting the as is and to be requirements, concentrating on these two, and then seeing to like what actually the company is having as of now and what things it is the new things company needs to have. So as is the existing one, the existing features or what companies as of now. To be means it is something new that we need to incorporate to actually get the tender. So next is the reports analysis, where all various kinds of reports will be there within the application, wherein like the consumer level reports and utility level reports.
So
So the
Prateek, sorry to interrupt. Who can be the competitor here? If you move to your next previous slide,
hmm.
so there is a point knowing knowing competitors. So who can be the competitor
Yeah.
here?
So it mean to say if a company if you're in a company A, so there are different companies also, like company B, C. So I'm just taking the names and in the alphabetical manner. So different companies have their role and were actually into this smart metering business would are could named to be as a competitors of this domain. Did you get the point?
Um, can you please explain once again?
Okay, is it audible from you?
It's audible, but I didn't
Okay.
get your point.
Okay. See, knowing competitors means the different companies who are actually in this business of smart metering. So if you are in the one company, you need to know about the different things that are happening with your competitors, and to know their trend analysis, what they actually are doing, what are the new projects. So knowing the competitor is all about you should be in the competition so that your business should not alter in any manner.
Okay. Okay, Pratik. Thank you.
Prateek,
Yeah,
Prateek, I have a question here.
yeah.
So just from the consumer point of view, say for
Hmm.
example, I have a conventional meter at my place. So how
Hmm.
easy is it to replace that conventional meter with the smart metering?
Yeah, very good point. So See, conventional meter is you getting a old phone and getting a new smartphone. It is same like that.
Okay, the internal wiring, everything remains the same, just that you replace the device.
Yeah, replacing device, but the main concept here is the utility and the rest environment where actually you've been getting these inputs and outputs of power outages and water monitoring. So those should be smart metering based concept. So you are into the place wherein the area wherein the smart metering supply or the business is not running across by any companies and is very new to me, new to you. So in that case, you can't simply for one resident, they can't place the smart meter. So there will be
Okay.
the various tenders running across the India. So once a tender across for those things, so people get into this business and they request their residents to have the smart meters telling about the advantages they will be having after implementation of these smart meters.
Okay. Thanks, Prateek.
Yeah. So any more questions? You guys clear about the AMR and AMI concept?
Yeah, Prateek, I don't have any doubt, but it will be better if you could just describe something more about the smart grid.
Okay. So smart grid is, one second, I'll just take you through that. So smart grid is all about right from power generation to the power consumption by the end user. So that is all about the smart grid. But it is nowadays it is getting difficult to actually have that smart grid thing from the small companies. So major companies who have the good capital establishments within them, so they will be going with the utilities and they will be actually making everything through the application based. That is the AMI capability first. So once the smart metering is done, so the AMI and AMR comes into picture from the utility perspective. From utility perspective to the end user, that is the AMI, advanced metering infrastructure. So infrastructure that is required, technical infrastructure that is required to actually share the meters power to the end users and collecting their related consumption data, getting the bill generated, monitoring those things, seeing to like no the theft happens from those people, and this is all about the AMI and AMR. So these two are the subsets of the uh, the smart grid technology. So here in smart grid, the word has been like distribution automation. So even here, the distribution everything automation is the part of the smart grid, wherein uh, no manual intervention is required in this thing, wherein if automation things comes into picture. Everything will be application based controlling apart from few physical interventions required here.
Okay.
So now I guess it is clear.
Yeah, Pratik. So here Kiran has some questions in the message panel. You can read
Yeah,
the message like, have you heard about prepaid electricity meters? Do we have such facility here?
just once I'm just opening his message.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kiran, it's a very good question. So what I mean to say here is prepaid comes here in this picture. Here the prepaid comes into picture. I will just show you. Yeah, prepaid comes into picture of AMR technology, advanced meter reading. Here, the prepaid in the sense the way we have our mobiles, right? So any the amount of bill you actually pay after the the power is been consumed, that is postpaid, and the prepaid is set like you after a few months you get to know like this is what is my consumption. So this will be what my the 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 bill will be for me from monthly basis, so I need to charge for that respective amount monthly. So that is the prepaid concept here. You will be paying the bill in advance, and then utilizing the amount of the power being consumed by you. Okay, sure. So this prepaid and postpaid things is not a new thing. So those being that we use from the cell phones. So that concept can be even linked to this smart metering concept here. So it is all about for the consumer satisfaction and their usability of the technology and their comfort level. Let me know any queries and answers. And if you know anything about it, about the smart metering and all, please be sharing with me, like we can have a fruitful discussions. If anybody know any more things apart from this been discussed here.
Prateek, this is Amar again. I have a question. If you can move back one slide.
Okay, here.
Just significance here, right? So as a business analyst in this particular domain, do you get to work on the softwares or the hardwares? I mean, also I want to know which are the companies, are working on this smart grid domain.
Okay. So a smart grid domain, like there are many minimal companies, but if you take on the smart metering concept, there are many companies. So you mean to say like Siemens, Power One Data International, and Infosys, the Fluent Grid. So there are many companies that they are actually focusing. They have that budgetary control with them. So that those kind of companies can actually go for this smart metering concept, because the company is having only the application perspective will not work actually. So they need to have a very good budget for manufacturing these smart meters and distributioning it, and then the various concepts of utility that comes into picture. Those are the many things wherein the budget goes on too much, but it is meanwhile it is not a loss for the company. It is every penny will be like a kind of ROI for these companies.
Okay. So can you elaborate on the requirements gathering front? Who are the stakeholders, and who are the possible decision makers for you as a business analyst?
So here the stakeholders will be the utilities here mainly, because those are the people who tell you like this is what is we need is all about to monitor our consumer this way. So mean to say like they need if any extra features then they require to be implemented in the software, they will tell us, and we need to capture the requirements and then see to it like the software applications and the UI and the all the features, explanations, user manuals, the number documents will be built as per the expectations. So once we actually gather the requirements from the stakeholders, so that we got to know like there is the normal again analysis, there's DLC codes into picture. So these are the things wherein the business analyst mainly concentrates. So from the taking the requirements and then delivering it to the back to the utilities to their expectation. So if there is any gap, so utilities doesn't meant to mention one thing. So BA has that knowledge and to actually get those requirements and in the same time, so he can discuss with utilities and get the things done and have the organization's value going up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So in my idea of having this, the picture here is there. These people actually basically are on the report side, wherein they are on the certain graphs there. So BA plays a major role in this graph. So where is will the actually the gap from the utility perspective, from the consumer's perspective? This is where the management will be more focused on the various reports. So even they can have the various, the reports wherein they actually monitor the utility outage and the consumer outage, and these are the main concepts wherein the management will be more concerned about. Any more questions? Hello? Any questions? Okay, Kiran.
Prateek, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Samir.
Yeah, Prateek, your session is over today, or
Yeah, it's
is there anything else to share?
no. We are done with the major, the basic concepts about the smart metering.
Okay, these are all the basic concepts.
Yeah, but the basic things, because even it is many more things. So as it is a very new thing here, so I don't have to make people uncomfortable about the many jargon. So I've prepared like this the basic of basic yeah, PPT for the understanding.
Okay, fine.
I guess
So,
it actually helped to some extent for the participants over here. So let's see,
right,
like if
right.
any doubt, any time we'll clear it out.
Okay, fine then. So, from today's session, actually, I just came to a conclusion that it doesn't matter whether you are from BTech background or MC background or any other background. You may have to work something out of works when you are you are a BA. So basically, the knowledge base of the BA should be very vast and wide enough to grab any kind of a new concept or any kind of new technology whenever required, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree to that, Samir.
So, okay.
That is what is the expectations from the companies nowadays. If they're in a BA, they expect everything to know, but it depends upon the BS actually, like how they actually they will cope up with the new technology and the new domain. So that is what the main concept here.
Exactly.
BAs, being a BA, they'll play a role as system analyst, and being a BA, they will play a role as a tester. So depends upon the responsibilities also.
Mm-hmm. So, for this session, actually, I don't have any more questions, but if anybody has any question, then we can have, we can discuss the same.
Yes. Yes, it was a very, like a very unique domain to everybody.
Exactly.
So it is hard to actually like to understand at the first lot. So that is what like people are like they're in a dilemma of what to ask, what not to ask might be.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, so we can close the session today.
Yes. If anybody have questions,
If
so
yeah,
you
anybody
can
if anybody has any questions, then we can discuss it on the group.
yeah, suits best.
Okay. So here I would like to thank all the participants as well as Prateek for sharing all the good knowledge, and hope we will have more such sessions in future. So friends, if you have anything else to share, or if you have any feedback or suggestions to make our session more better, then you can always text me on the group, or you can text me personally. So let's wind up for today. This session is being recorded, and I will update the same on YouTube soon. Okay, and we'll share you the link. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for participating.
Thank you, Pratik. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you everyone.
Thanks. Bye. Bye all.